Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Odessa, Texas, and the Permian Fieldhouse. With Dawn Morgan, I'm TJ Miracle, filling in for Ty Friend and Ron Gunter. Welcome to Hobbs Eagle Basketball. So we are into the new year. Welcome to 2024, and for the Hobbs Eagles, Dawn, the clock has turned, the calendar has turned, and they're hoping that their luck on the season turns as they come into this one tonight 4-6. And looking to turn their season around after a middle-of-the-pack finish in the Hobbs Holiday Tournament.
Right, they came in fourth. They lost to Volcano Vista, who really, I mean, you know, it sounds worse than it is. Volcano Vista and Farmington were at the Hobbs Holiday Tournament, both for the girls and the boys teams. And, you know, on the boys' side, well, and the girls' side too, but boys' side, they're ranked. Farmington was, I think, number 2. Volcano Vista was number 1. After that, you know, performance as Farmington won the boys' side, you know, things might have changed or might be changing, at least in the Max Preps poll. But so, you know, Hobbs playing very, very tough teams in that tournament with a very young team themselves.
Well, they do. And for these Hobbs Eagles, just 3 seniors on this squad for the Eagles, and that's Jaime Cano, Brian Acosta, and Alejandro Portillo, the only seniors on this team. And they're led pretty much everywhere, though, by juniors and even sophomores.
That's right.
So a lot can go on. Their leading scorer, of course, is Abraham Pena, a junior, averaging 15.2 points a game. Braylon Vega, number 2 on that list, and he's just a sophomore. He's averaging 11.2 points a game. And then you've got Jarius Turabiatis, the junior center and power forward, averaging right at 7 points a game. He's also the leading rebounder with 6.8 per game.
He's got the leading field goal percentage at 60% and leading in steals per game, too, at 2.4, with Malachi David coming in leading in blocks 1.3 per game, and Abraham Pena also leading in assists as well as points at 2.6 per game.
Well, very important for the Hobbs Eagles. I think when you look at them, and of course now that we've had a chance to see them, Don, consistency is what Coach Shelby Reeves and Coach Ronald Ross and the staff have got to be working on. You look at the box score from the final game at the Holiday Tournament this last Saturday, 10 points in the first, 11 points in the second. That's not going to get it done.
No.
19 in the third, that will get it done.
Right.
And then 8 in the fourth, so very inconsistent. Of course, when you got a young team, you expect some of that, but at the same time, you have to find that consistency. Now, that's what all these pre-district games are for, and you're going to work and do what you can. One thing, you know, because we're sitting on the floor here at the field house, which I much prefer that to the Crow's Nest about 9,000 yards behind us.
Right.
It makes the Crow's Nest at Tasker look like courtside seats. But as we, we're here, Permian does not have the size that we're used to seeing out of a Permian Panther team. So Hobbs will have the size advantage. It'll be important for them to bang in and find a way to get those big guys into the low post and work from the inside out. Clear them out, get them inside, and then when they collapse in, it leaves your shooters open on the outside. Permian, no slouch, though. They are 9 of their last 10 games, 13-7. They went on a 7-game run there. In their last game, they beat Clear Falls 67-53. Now, even though Permian doesn't have the size maybe these Panthers teams are used to, they can put up a lot of points, and even though their coach does not have their stats listed, something tells me that they are probably quick and they can probably shoot the lights out of this place if they get hot.
Yeah, and that's one thing that we noticed in that game on Saturday. Hobbs was having some trouble with their shooting, both close in and, you know, in the three-point range, at least, you know, being able to get people open, but actually they were just dialing in the range and finding the basket, and that was tough. I mean, that contributed to their low points per quarter in everything but that third quarter. So
3 Hobbs Eagles in that game, though, were in double digits.
They were, and one of them made the all-tournament team.
That is correct. That was Abraham Pena. Now, I don't know if we're going to have introduction to teams in a national anthem or not. Looks like we might be, so let's go ahead and take a timeout. Come back. Hobbs Eagle basketball continues in a moment on Cool 95.7. And welcome back to Hobbs Eagle Basketball here on Cool 95.7 and the Cool 95.7 app, Hobbs Sports YouTube. All right, well, they're not going to introduce the teams. We're just going to tip it up and go, and the Eagles will win the opening tip. And immediately off the opening tip, get it to Braylon Vega and up and in, and the Hobbs Eagles have scored first. Keeping the full court pressure on as Permian will have the basketball just underway. Hobbs up 2-0. As moving through, hippity-hop through the lane, trying to get it down underneath. Ball loose on the floor, getting it into Anderson. Anderson comes away with it, somehow saves it out to Beck. Beck, a little spin move, hippity-hop through the lane, puts up the floater, no good, and the rebound going to be made by Malachi David.
Yeah, nice. So good tone setting, and that's exactly the kind of board work that we're going to need throughout this game.
Going to need to get the defense and the transitions going all game long. Underneath to David, and a little turnaround, and he is partially blocked out, and it'll wind up in the hands of Javion Beck. Back down come the Panthers. It'll be Beck to control on the near side. He works against Pena. Flipping it out, and they go underneath, and finding position is Rael Moses, and he will put it up and in, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line for the and one. Not sure who they called that on. They do not put the numbers up on the board here. I think it was on Malachi. So his first personal, first team foul, and Moses at the line for the and one, and it is up and it is good. And that will give Permian the early 3-2 lead. Welcome into Odessa, Texas. I'm TJ Miracle. Hard pressure, and the Eagles will have their second turnover of the ball game, but it'll get tied up on the floor. Good hustle underneath by Abraham Pena to get that one back after he got stripped away, but it will wind up in the hands of Permian on the possession arrow. Well, you've got Beck, McCowan, Moses, Powell, and Anderson on the court for the Panthers. For the Eagles, you've got Vega, Pena, Beatty, and David. And a three-point shot on the way, and that one is going to be short, and it'll come off and into the hands of Josiah Clay, who just checked into the ball game. As Clay will come across the timeline, flipping it into the right corner for Beatty. Working it back out, or pardon me, that was Vega. Now back to Clay. Works against Moses. Now back over, near side, coming out, top of the arc to Pena. Pena gets a little pick set by David, and he'll work it to Clay. Clay goes to the left side of the hoop and loses the basketball. Third turnover for Hobbs. The fast break the other way, and missing the point-blank layup was McCowan. Rebound for Pena. Hobbs comes back down 3-2. Permian in the lead. 2 minutes gone in this one. A little head fake and a partial block, but it winds up being a pass. And inside to Tudobiakis.
Yeah, nice.
The little baby hook, and it is up and in, and Hobbs will take the 4-3 lead.
Working the backboard. Nice shot.
So near disaster turns into a good one for Hobbs.
Some back and forth turnovers, though, here early on.
Back down come the Panthers, and a shot up, no good, and a little no call on the foul, and the rebound is going to be made by McCowan, and he'll put it back up and in. 5-4 now, Permian in the lead. Using up the dribble as Pena tries to split through two Panthers. That doesn't work. Fourth turnover for Hobbs, and the little underhand scoop, and that's Moses. He's got 5 in the ball game. Permian will lead this one 7-4, and Coach Ronald Ross and Coach Shelby Reeves say, let's talk about this for just a minute. I think it's just going to be a 30. It is, so we will keep it right here. 5:20 remaining here in the first. Permian 7, Hobbs 4.
Now, something we noticed in the JV game before this is that it was a very physical game, and the refs really just let them play. There were a few fouls called, but as far
really
as
in the first half, they got a lot tougher and a little
tougher
closer
in
the second half. Yeah.
But they really let them just bang around in that first half for sure. But it was pretty physical, much of that game. So we'll see what happens in this one. As long as they're calling it both ways, no problem. But they may just let them, get away with some of the physicality without calls.
Coach Steven Flores is telling his guys, watch the fast movement. And it'll be Hobbs basketball out of the time as Pena will take the inbound from Vega, works it from the right to the left from our perspective, takes it to the rings. Now he goes to Clay in the right corner. He'll cycle it out to the right wing. On him very tight is McCowan. Clay looking for room, not much he can do. Goes to the right base, almost loses the basketball. Somehow will get it back as he will toss it over the head of Henderson. That's the 5th turnover for Hobbs, and they'll feed it forward to a breaking Beck, but over his head, not able to handle it, and he'll have to save it out, and he will to Powell. Powell cycles around, and he'll throw the fastball to no one in particular.
Just the corner. Nobody.
Except maybe the football field house out behind the gym. First turnover for Permian.
Some dust bunnies over in the corner, maybe.
Some of those dust bunnies were probably here when I was here 20-some-odd years ago.
Nice bounce
and
pass.
to the top
Ooh.
of the arc. 3 on the way, and bang! Abraham Pena puts up the 3 ball and ties this one up at 7 apiece.
Off of a nice pass. And
Powell the other way
assist.
from the left corner. His 3 on the way, no good, and good position by Parker Henderson. He has his first board of the ball game. Giving it to Clay. He'll bring it back up as Permian drops back in a 1-3-1 zone. Hand it over to Vega, now push it over to Pena. Pena working on the Panther logo. Now he'll take it into the right corner. He'll pop a shot from the right wing for 3. That one is in and out, no good. Fight for the rebound, and we'll have a foul called on the play. And they're going to call the push foul on Tudobiatis. That'll be his first personal, second team foul on the Eagles.
One thing that Hobbs was a little weak on in that final game at the Holiday Tournament was offensive rebounding in the first half. They did better, much better in that third quarter especially, and that was the third quarter that they had more points on, giving themselves better looks, more looks at the basket.
7-all at the halfway point of this first quarter, as that'll be Beck who backs it out. Vega on him, giving him just a little bit of room. Coming out to help set the pick is Moses. Vega looks for a little space, and an NBA 3 on the way, and that is good for Anderson. So drains the tray from NBA plus distance, and Permian back up by 3, 10-7. To Vega in the front court. He'll pull an NBA three-pointer, no good, and off of the tip, it'll go into the hands of Beck.
And Henderson barely misses getting that rebound.
Beck will feed it forward, working on the far side to Anderson. Anderson slides through the paint, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line for 2. See who they're going to call that one on to be sure.
44?
Yep, I think they're going to get that one on Tudobiatis. That'll be his second personal, third team foul on the Eagles, and that'll put Anderson at the line for 2. Now Anderson's first is up, and it is good. And that'll make it an 11-7 lead. Biggest of the ball game. Tudobiatis will check out. Coming in his place is Javen Hernandez. Hernandez, Clay, Henderson.
And it'll be
Pena and Vega on for Hobbs, and the second is up and good for Anderson. They'll give it to Clay. Full court pressure is on. And Henderson
nice.
all by himself underneath, and Parker up and in.
That's how you do it. Nice.
Hey, if they're going to press, and they'll come back the other way in transition, and Permian shot is up, no good, and they will call the travel on Moses. So second turnover for Permian. Hobbs back to within 3, 12-9.
And Permian tried to flip the script on Hobbs and do the very same thing. They didn't execute as well.
To Pena. He'll take it left baseline. A little fall away from 7 and roll it home.
Beautiful.
Pena with 5 in the ball game. Gets Hobbs back to within 1. Back and forth affair here early.
Yeah, but Permian is slowing things up just a little bit here.
So now it'll be McCowan crossing the timeline. He'll come near side to Powell. Out on him is Hernandez. Powell, a little crossover move, takes it to the free throw line, then dumps it into the deep right corner. Cycling it back out is Beck. Beck with Pena on him, starts his run in. He'll go to the high post, put up a 10-footer, and that one won't fall. Ball is loose on the floor, goes out, and last touched underneath by Moses. He and Henderson were fighting for it pretty good, and Moses touched it last. 12-11 the score, 2.5 minutes to go here in this first quarter as Vega checks out, and checking in his place will be Beatty.
I think Henderson wanted to tie it up, thought maybe a tie ball was in the offing, but Hobbs still got the ball.
Pena will run the point, still in the backcourt as Beck will pick him up. He'll just take it, and whoa, little slide job from the right elbow, 15-footer, not going to fall, and the ball will go out of bounds, and last touched by the Panthers, so it'll stay Hobbs ball in their offensive zone. 2:18 to go with a high inlet to Henderson, but he loses the basketball, and back down comes Permian as that'll be Anderson, and he'll put it up over the front of the rim. 13-11 now Anderson with 7 points. Back down comes Clay, and he's going to get run over, and they call the charge on Clay. 7th turnover for the Eagles. Clay will pick up his first personal, 4th team foul on Hobbs, and Clay slow to get up.
He took a pretty hard fall there.
Hobbs lucky with 7 turnovers, only trailing by 3, 14-11. 2 minutes, 2 seconds remaining here in a fast-moving first quarter. Full court press is on as the inbound comes to Powell. He'll give it right back to McCowan. He comes near side as Clay will pick him up. Gets around Clay. McCowan tossing it over left corner to Anderson. On him quickly is Hernandez. Now they'll work it inside. Now they'll work it around. Getting it out to Powell. And he almost loses the basketball. He will lose the basketball, but not able to get to it in time is Beatty.
Beatty is he's got quick hands. He's fast. We saw a couple of steals from him on Saturday.
It'll stay Permian basketball as Isaac Chavez checks into the game for the Panthers. As the high inlet comes to Anderson. He'll take it to the paint, and he'll put it up and in. Somebody
get
guard
a hand,
him, please.
Exactly, get a hand in his face and try to contain him.
16-11, a 5-point lead for the Panthers. Ties their biggest of the ball game. To Beatty, a little push shot. That one is off the mark. Henderson is there with the rebound. He's fouled.
Yeah, nice. It's exactly.
And he'll go to the line to shoot, too. That's what you want the big boy underneath for, and they'll call that one on Jamabrion Anderson, his first personal, just the first foul on the Panthers.
Yeah, right where you needed to be. You just gotta hang on to the ball. Hobbs just needs to take care of the ball a little bit better.
First one is up, and it is good for Parker Henderson. Hobbs in that holiday tournament final game only went 11 of 15 from the line. So a little better than their season average on that one. Henderson, his second is up, and Henderson gets them both. He's got 4 for the Eagles.
Nothing but net.
So now 16-13. Hobbs trailing by 3. $1:20 remaining in the first quarter. Fast mover here in Odessa at Permian High School, and almost picking the pocket is Clay. Somehow coming away with it is McCowan. McCowan goes through the legs. As picking him up quickly was Casadas, who just checked into the ball game. Spin move to Powell. Powell through the lane, a little underhand scoop, no good, and Henderson.
Nice board.
And that's what you got to do when you're the big boy. You got to play with the size, and they are going to call the block foul on Anderson. Hey, if you can get him in foul trouble, that's not a bad thing to do. He's got 2 personals now.
Size is great, but you got to be where you need to be, and then you've got to use it effectively. You got to have a little bit of muscle, and you got to do that without fouling.
So far, so good for Henderson as Clay running the point into the front court as he's going to get a bump foul called on Chavez. That'll be his first personal, 3rd team foul on Permian. So 48 seconds remaining here in the first as Anderson will check out as Beck will check back in. So it'll be Clay to inbound from in front of the Permian bench. Get it into the corner for Beatty. He'll try and get it into Henderson, and Henderson will get it off the bounce. Yeah. Nice move and dunk it home. Parker Henderson using the size and getting the Eagles back to within a point.
Beautiful. Really well played. They're playing as a team and making those transitions much better than we saw them on Saturday.
Trying to tie up Beck. They'll get it over to Moses, and he's going to be partially blocked out, and the ball will go out of bounds, and Hobbs basketball. 3rd turnover for the Panthers.
And some frustration showing on Odessa. Yeah, a little emotion there.
Now it'll be Clay to inbound it. We saw things get a little emotional in the JV game, too.
That's right. Things got a little tippy. In fact, there was a technical called.
Couple of them, actually.
Yeah.
So it'll come to Clay off of the inbound. He takes it into the offensive zone, and he gets popped in the face. Oh, and Henderson, they could tee him up for that. They got to be careful, and they are going to call that foul on Beck. It'll be his first personal, 4th team foul, and that, wow, they're going to say that was on the floor. Are you kidding? Wow.
Hobbs trailing by. Hobbs trailing only by 1 here with just.
Beatty will get it in as he'll toss it in. It'll come to Casadas. Casadas feeding it over to Beatty in front of the Permian bench. He'll cycle it around, and they're going to call the offensive foul as they are going to get Henderson for his first personal. That'll be the 5th team foul. 8 turnover on the Eagles. And so for the last 8 seconds or so of this quarter, Permian will be in the bonus, not that it matters, and timeout.
Who took it? I think
nobody took it. Now they're going to say waiting to check in subs, but they didn't give them a chance. Didn't see who came in for either team as the inbound will come to Powell with 6 with 5, and he'll turn on the Jets, and he'll go through and blocked out by Henderson and right into the hands of Casadas.
Oh, and then he traveled.
So the team's trading the turnovers, but with 0.6 seconds to go, you basically, if you're Permian, if you've got a pop-a shot, that's what you're going to try to do. Because you've got time to inbound it and throw it up. That's about it. So they'll get it to Powell, and he'll push it to the hoop, and blocked out by
nice.
Beatty, coming through from nowhere and knocking it down.
Beautiful.
For Isaiah McCowan. We have played a quarter here in Odessa. It's Permian 16, Hobbs 15. We're back in a minute here on Cool 95.7 in the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel. Back here in Odessa at Permian High School, we have played a quarter, and it has been a back-and-forth affair. Permian leads this one 16-15. With Don Morgan alongside, I'm TJ Miracle, Tiff Stuber in studio engineering and producing. It'll be Hobbs basketball as we start this second quarter of action. So the Eagles coming up big and getting good. Low post play by Parker Henderson. He leads the Eagles with 6 points and 3 boards. And now there's a question from Coach Shelby Reeves. I'm not sure what they're questioning, but it looks like we will have Tudabiatis, Clay, Hernandez, Vega, and Pena on the court for the Eagles. And it looks like it'll be McCowan, Powell, Beck, then Chavez, and who am I missing up? Anderson.
And I don't know, really, the coaches are questioning the referees and the official
scorekeeper. I'm not sure what the question is about here.
I'm wondering if there was a miss. They're thinking maybe there was a missed point somewhere, or
I have. Let's see. I'm gonna run the numbers myself right quick. There's 14-16. And there is 6-11-4. That's 15. So
right. So the points should be right. It's interesting. We can't hear from this far away, and I don't know. They're not gesturing at the board or the clock, really. It's interesting. So they were gesturing at players and numbers, and it's kind of I don't know.
Sorry, as my allergies have kicked in all of a sudden.
But it was a very fast-moving first quarter. We just mentioned, if the whole game goes as fast as that first quarter, we're going to be out of here pretty soon. But
well, while we've got a moment, we'd like to say a big thank you to our friends at Lasco Construction, TDS Telecom, Forest Tire Company, Lee County State Bank, Hobbs Express, Thriftway, Elite Home Healthcare, NMR Pipeline, the First American Bank of Hobbs, plus our good friends at Ampersand Media and Design and The Model, among others, for making Hobbs Eagle basketball possible here on Cool 95.7, the Cool 95.7 app, and, of course, online at HobbsAmerica.com and the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel. Filling in tonight for Ty Friend, taking a well-deserved Christmas break. He and Ron Gunter will be back with you next week from the Albuquerque Metro Tournament, the boys' side of that.
The next game that the Eagles are scheduled to play is 1 week from today, and that will be at Highland, Albuquerque Highland. And that will be the first game in that it's a 5-day tournament, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's a 4-day tournament with a Thursday off. It's a bit strange. And now Coach Ronald Ross is pulling the Eagles off the court.
Wow, very interesting. And talking about something, they've been gesturing. The referees have been gesturing and talking to both the coaches about something. And I don't know. It's very interesting.
This is interesting. So I'm not sure
really
what exactly is going on.
And they're gesturing on the court, such as I don't know if there's some kind of, if something is marked differently. I don't know. It's odd.
I know. This has been a bit strange.
Now we're ready.
Sounds to me like they were questioning maybe a jersey number or possibly number of fouls on somebody, but a little hard to keep up with since they don't put them on the board here. As Pena will get the inbound, it is Hobbs basketball trailing by 1. All right, we've got the second quarter underway. To Vega, hippity-hop through the lane, put it up high. It won't fall, but he is fouled. He will head to the line for 2, and they'll call that one on Rael Moses. That'll be his first team foul in this second quarter. Of course, the new rules this year, 5 per quarter before you go to the double bonus. So Braylon Vega to the line. First shot for Vega is up, and it is good. And that'll tie us up at 16 apiece as the Eagles will draw first blood here in the second quarter. Vega now with 3 points in the ball game, averaging just over 11, and that one won't go, but the rebound by the Eagles, and that is Hernandez. So Hobbs will start it back around. That'll be Clay backing it up between the rings. Has given him a little room as Saldivar, who checked in for the start of the second quarter, coming to the near side with Pena. Pena to Vega in front of Coach Flores over on the Permian bench. Now back out to Clay. Hobbs will reset the offense. We are tied at 16. Clay step back three from the top of the arc. No good, and it'll be Powell with the rebound, his first. Powell keeps it himself. Almost gets picked from behind. Throws it underneath to a backdoor cutting back, and the shot is up, and it is good. And he's fouled. He'll go to the line for three the old-fashioned way.
I think they may have gotten Todobiatis on that again.
I think they did. Yep, it was Todobiatis. If I'm not mistaken, that is his third personal.
Oh, it's not good.
So at the line, it'll be back for the and one, and he gets it to fall. And that'll make it 19-16 in favor of Permian. Less than a minute gone here in the second. Still lots of time to go. Clay works against Moses. He'll throw the high one to Hernandez. Working through, and Pena cuts on the left baseline and lays it in with the left hand.
Nice. 7
points for for Pena, Abraham Pena. And Hobbs back to within a point. 6:50 remaining, first half. 19-18 Permian in the lead, and tick-tack, tick-tack.
Yeah,
that'll be a foul called.
Get that on Clay.
That'll be his second personal. That'll be the second team foul on Hobbs. So Clay going to have to sit for just a couple of minutes. Coming back in will be Jordan
10.
Casadas.
Yep, Casadas.
Casadas, Hernandez, Todobiatis, Pena, and Vega on the floor for the Eagles. That'll be Anderson, who comes near side to Powell. Working just inside the offensive zone. Tossing it over to Saldivar. Saldivar a fall away from 17, no good, and trying to bounce it in, trying to save it. He will, but he saves it right into the hands of Hernandez.
Hobbs needs to
give it to Casadas.
Take advantage of these of the turnovers and the gift here.
Backcourt man pressure. Casadas trying to bounce it. Vega there. Trying to push it over, and that one will be picked off. 10th turnover for the Eagles. On his horse is Saldivar. Takes it up the left lane, and he will miss the point-blank layup, but they are going to call the foul. And they're going to get that on Casadas, his first personal, third team foul on the Eagles. And so that will put Averoni back at the line. Or pardon me, that's Ben Saldivar at the line. First shot for Saldivar is up, and it is good. And now 20-18 in favor of Permian.
Hobbs keeping it very close, though. This has been a tight game from the very, very beginning.
Permian is a Texas 6A team. Second one is up and good. And even though they're, I think, a middle-of-the-pack team for Texas 6A, they are going to be very competitive in what used to be District 4-5A.
Well, they are ranked 124th in Texas in Division 6A right now, but that's there are hundreds of teams.
I think there's about 400 6A teams.
Yeah.
So, about middle of the pack in 6A, but they should be pretty competitive
in the division.
In this district, yeah. I think it's District 4 6A now, is inside and pushing it high off the glass is Anderson. He's got 11 points now, leads all scores. 23-18, back to a 5-point Permian lead. Full court pressure is on. Pena going to have to come back and help Casadas. They try and block him up with back. Back will almost pick the pocket. They'll push it forward to Casadas. Tossing it into the left corner. Vega head fake. Looking for some help. Get it to Casadas. Top of the arc for three and bang!
Beautiful shot.
Jordan Casadas drains the tray.
Yeah, under intense defensive pressure by Odessa Permian.
23-21. Hobbs back to within a bucket as Saldivar takes it. Puts up a 19-footer from the left arc, and that one is good. Sweet shot there for that young man. So now 4-point lead, 25-21, and they're going to call the palm ball. That is the 12th turnover for Hobbs, and the Boo Birds are out behind us. The black and gold.
Faithful up ahead, just behind us and above. Man, not liking that call at all.
No, they are not. So that'll be the 12th turnover for Hobbs. Hobbs very lucky that Permian hasn't been able to capitalize on a lot of them. To Saldivar, come near side to Moses. Moses hands it off on the little exchange with Beck. Now to Anderson. Then he gets the pick set. Anderson pulls the three-point trigger. It's not going to fall, and Pena will have his second board of the ball game.
Yeah, nice rebound.
Abraham keeps it himself, takes it to the free throw line, uses up the dribble, needs some help as three Panthers collect in on him. To Vega, now back out to Pena, takes it to the left corner. Three ball on the way, and it'll roll home, and they're going to say he was on the line, just a two ball, but we'll take it.
Yeah, and it cuts back in, 25-23. As Hobbs trailing just by 2 with 4:20 left to play in the second.
Saldivar, a little spin move, and he'll pull the three-point trigger from the right wing. A high tip, and it'll be Clay with the rebound, his second. Tip made by Pena. Back to Clay as Beck will shadow him into the front court. Halfway gone in the in the second. So get it to Vega out near center court. He works against Powell, and then Anderson will pick Vega up. A little side sling pass, then go inside and off the bounce to Clay. He'll take it to the left base, step back three, and that one is going to be short, and it'll wind up in the hands of Powell. Powell going to bounce it off of the back heel of Pena and out, and it'll be Permian basketball under their own bucket. As Moses will check out, Chavez will check in for Permian. 3:41 remaining here in the first half. A 2-point Panther lead, and we're going to have fouls called, or should have foul called. Coach Ronald Ross is barking because one of the Panthers came flying through and bumped a couple of Eagles on his way through. No call, though, as they'll bounce it into Chavez, and he'll send it around to Saldivar. Works it between the rings. He'll work it to Pena at the free throw line. Step back jumper from there, and that one will roll and is no good, but coming through with the rebound is Chavez. Rebound and the putback. His first bucket, his first board. 27-23. Permian up on the Eagles, and almost getting it robbed is Clay. As they're going to call that one on Anderson. That'll be his third personal, if I am correct, and the second team foul on Permian.
And Clay got bumped. It got really popped in the mouth on that. He reached up. I think he expected to maybe see blood on that. He's got a pretty good pop in the mouth with a little elbow.
Tudobiantis checks out. Checking in will be David as they'll get it in to David, and he'll wind up with it on the right base and put it up off the glass and in. Malachi David has his first bucket of the ball game. Hobbs has the size advantage size.
And they need to work that low post a little more than they do, I think.
At some point you might want to think about David and Henderson in at the same time. Of course, Hernandez is no shirking Violet in there.
No.
And a good defensive move as Pena almost swats it away, and Clay will swat it away. It'll wind up in the hands of Abraham Pena. He'll take it, the little teardrop floater, not gonna go. And the rebound by Chavez. Back down come the Panthers as the ball swatted away from behind by Clay, and it'll go out of bounds. It'll be Permian basketball. 2:43 to go, first half.
And Hobbs
as Pena is up and he is hobbling.
Hobbs trailing only by 2, 27-25. Yeah, Pena's going to have to come out. Let's hope he's just got a little a cramp.
Maybe is
hopefully.
Checking in will be Braylon Vega as we click down to 2.5 minutes to go in the first half. It's to the front court will be Powell. Vega stays on him. Powell will split through, and he's going to get fouled, and they'll count the bucket. They're going to whistle that on Vega, his first personal, 4th-team foul. So on Vega, there it is. That'll be his second personal.
Definitely looks like Pena's over there massaging a calf, so probably a Charlie horse. And we know it's painful. When I say let's hope, it's just a
Powell for the and one, and it is up, and it is good. That'll make it 30-25.
Painful enough, but you get over it.
If it is 29, I'll go with that.
Okay.
27-3 anyway. All right, 3 for David, and that one is going to be off the mark, and Saldivar will come away with it for the Panthers. Push it forward to Beck. Beck with the fall away from 15. No good, and off the tip. Hernandez has his third board of the ball game. Bad pass, so, and right into the hands of Permian, and going over and missing the dunk is Beck, and it'll be Clay with his third board of the ball game. Hobbs dodges the bullet. And they have corrected the score. And to Clay, he'll throw it up underneath, and they are going to call the floor foul on the block. Should be on Powell. Actually, they're going to whistle that one on Chavez. That'll be his second personal, 3rd-team foul. Checking into the ball game will be Beatty. He'll inbound it. Hobbs trailing 30-25. Get it into Vega. Pop a shot for 3, and bang!
And that was pretty.
Braylon Vega with the 3 ball.
That was gorgeous. Hobbs now
Back to within a
Back
bucket.
to within 2.
1:44 remaining in the first half. Hand it off to Powell. He stands on the big black P at center court. Now he'll take it over NBA 3, top of the arc, and that one is good.
Ooh.
Left him open, he made him pay. 33-28. We've pretty much been at a 5-point Permian lead, seems like, for most of this half. To Vega at the right elbow and put it up, and they will call the block foul on Powell. His first personal, 4th team foul, and that will put Vega at the line to shoot 2. Vega 1 for 2 from the stripe. Hobbs with 83 seconds remaining in the half, trying to chop into a 5-point lead.
Well, it would be nice if he could sink a couple here and then maybe steal the ball, pop a 2 or 3, and get it to either close or tied.
So Vega at the line, puts up the first, and it is good.
Plan's working so far.
Still plenty of time in this one. You got a whole half of basketball to play, and
You
it has
bet.
been a close affair.
And it would be nice for Hobbs psychologically to pull in at halftime, either tied or
Second
slightly
shot
in the
is
lead.
on the way,
Oh,
and in and out. Not going to fall on the rebound by Chavez. That'll be his 3rd. Chavez to Powell. Takes it to the left wing. Uses up the dribble. On him close is Vega. He'll hand it off to Saldivar, and then they'll push it back out, and McCowan will reset the offense. To Powell on the near side. Gets a pick from Moses. Uses up the dribble. Bouncing inside to Moses, and he'll put it up over after he knocks down Vega.
Oh, and here's
Moses was 7.
Permian pulling away just a little bit. Hobbs, oh.
Full court press is on. Beatty will save it. Takes it into the deep left corner. He'll push it back out. NBA 3 range for Vega, and that one no good. But David is there with the rebound and the putback for Malachi.
Nice. David did that in the first quarter a couple of times. Beautiful.
Back come the Panthers. Bouncing underneath to Moses. Loses it off of his foot. Somehow he puts up a shot.
Great.
And that was, and it'll be rebounded by the Eagles. That was Hernandez, his 4th. Back
Ooh.
down, and Vega, a circus shot, and put it in. I didn't see the elephants at the Ector County Coliseum when we came in, but they must be in town after that shot. 13. Hernandez, his first personal. That'll be the 5th team foul on Hobbs. 9 seconds remaining in the half, so not a huge concern. So Chavez at the line, a 2-point Permian lead. First shot for Chavez is up, and it is good. And now would be the time to bring in the announcer's curse. Permian has not missed from the line tonight.
So let's see if it works.
They are 8 of 8 from the free throw line.
Up by 3 now.
And at the line, Chavez. Second on the way, and they stay perfect from the line. 7 seconds remaining in the first half. They'll get it into Beatty with 4, with 3, with 2. Beatty in. He's going to get fouled as charging up behind him, and the push foul on Powell. So that'll put Hobbs in the double bonus with 2 seconds to go, and it'll put Beatty at the line to shoot 2. Braddock Beatty, his first trip to the line. Beatty's first is up and falls off to the right side. No good. Hobbs' free throw shooting is not what the Panthers is. But it's still just a 4-point ball game. Second on the way for Beatty, and that one is through. 37-34. Full court press is on as they will toss it in, and no shot at the buzzer. So we have played.
Oh,
he puts it up, but it was well after the buzzer.
That was incredible.
That
yeah,
was
it was
incredible,
well after the buzzer. About a 3/4 shot. Yeah, from not half court, about 3/4 of the court away. That's amazing.
So we have played a half of basketball here in Odessa at Permian Fieldhouse. It's Permian 37, Hobbs 34. We're back in 3 minutes for your Hobbs Eagle halftime show here on Cool 95.7 KLEA Hobbs Lovington, the Cool 95.7 app, HobbsAmerica.com, and the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel. Welcome back to Hobbs Eagle Basketball live from Odessa, Permian. We are at halftime, and the Permian Panthers and the Hobbs Eagles going back and forth right now. Permian with the 37-34 lead. With Dawn Morgan, I'm TJ Miracle, Tiff Stuber in studio engineering and producing. Let's take a look at the numbers of the first half of this one. We will start with the Permian Panthers. They are led right now by Anderson. He has got 11 points in the ball game, but he's in a little bit of foul trouble. We believe he has 3 personal fouls in that first half, so that slowed him down a little bit, and that's not a bad thing if you are a Hobbs Eagle fan. Moses is second in the books with 7. You got 6 points for Laryl Powell. Then you got 4 points for Isaac Chavez, 3 points for Beck, 4 points for Saldivar. Pardon me, I missed that one a minute ago. And then McCowan with 2 points. For Permian, they go a perfect 9 of 9 from the free throw line in that first half. Their leading rebounder was Chavez with 4. They only had 9 rebounds in that first half as a team. 5 turnovers for Permian in the first half. 16 points in the first, 21 in the second. That's how they get to their 37. For the Hobbs Eagles, their leading scorer right now is going to be Abraham Pena. 9 points in the books in the first half. For Abraham, Parker Henderson is next. He's got 6 points. Then you got 4 points each for Malachi David and Braylon Vega. Or pardon me, Vega with 9 points too. I can't read my own handwriting. So Vega and Pena each with 9 points. There we go. I'll get it fixed. And you got 4 points, as we mentioned, for Malachi David. 3 for Jordan Casados. 2 points for Jarius Tudobiatis and a point for Braddock Beatty. Hobbs goes 5 of 8 from the free throw line in the first half. Their leading rebounder is Javen Hernandez. He's got 4. Hobbs is winning the rebounding battle. They had 11 collectively as a team in that first half. But here is the number that stands out, Dawn. 13 turnovers for Hobbs in the first half. 15 points in the first, 19 in the second, gets them to 34. But with 13 turnovers in the books, to only be trailing by 3 points at half, I think you take that into half and you go, if you're Coach Shelby Reeves and you're Coach Ronald Ross, you go, boys, if you hold on to the basketball, we're probably winning this thing by 5.
I did mention, during that couple of times during that first half that Hobbs needed to take care of the basketball a little bit better. They have gotten their pocket picked a couple of times, and then they've just made, some bad passes. But Odessa Permian, to their credit, they've got, very strong, aggressive offense, and they have forced some of those turnovers as well, just with their aggression, which just, heads up.
Aggression and
that's right.
tight play, a little bit of a press going on at times.
But Hobbs just tighten things up a little bit, take care of the ball a little bit better, and maybe make some more, make some more points off of the turnovers that they're forcing.
And Hobbs has done a very nice job inside, because really Permian does not have an answer for Parker Henderson, Malachi David, Jarius Tudobiatis, or Javen Hernandez. You can just use those 4 and keep a point guard out there and just bang them inside.
Just feed the ball, keep feeding, and unless Odessa does come through with some kind of an answer. So I also mentioned during that first half, I'd like to see them just feed that ball into the low post a little bit more and use that as a little bit more.
Yeah, they certainly could, and they could even go with the old Spurs or the even older Rockets twin tower look at some point.
Right.
Keep 2 of their big guys in there.
Right there.
And yes, I am old enough to remember the Dream Olajuwon and Ralph Sampson in the middle for the Rockets back in the early 80s, and then
we did have a little bit of I remember Beatty popped a 3 for Hobbs, but we don't have a lot of 3-point shooting going on for us, right?
Yeah, Vega with a 3, Casadas with a 3, Pena with a 3, and that's the threes.
Okay, all right.
And for them, they've got 3-pointers out of Anderson and Powell, and that's it. So, the 3-point shot has not played a huge role in this one as of yet, but could it in the second half? You never know. So we'll see when we come back, as this has been your halftime report. We'll be back for the start of the third quarter. Hobbs Eagle basketball continues in a moment on the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel, HobbsAmerica.com, and Cool 95.7. back here at the Panther Fieldhouse, the Permian Fieldhouse in Odessa, Texas, getting ready for the start of the second half. Hobbs Eagle basketball continues here on Cool 95.7. I'm TJ Miracle alongside Don Morgan, filling in for Ty Friend and Ron Gunter tonight. Tiff Stuber in studio engineering and producing. So a 3-point Panther lead. And it will be, looks like, Permian basketball as we flip ends and get this one back to going here in the second half, Dawn.
Yes, Hobbs, of course, within striking range, they can win this game.
McCowan will take the inbound from Beck. He takes it into the right wing. Clay on him very tight. He'll cycle it around. He'll put up a little 10-foot push shot. No good. Gets his own rebound, but then stolen away by David.
Yeah, good fight for that rebound underneath the basket by David.
And the pressure is on, and David will set the pick, and that'll let Pena get it into the front court at about the 6 count. Clay with it, and Powell on him tight. A little bump, no call, as that will go in front of the bench to Pena. Abraham pushes it back out to Clay. Clay gets the pick from Tudobiatis. Now they'll come near side to Vega. Vega inside to Tudobiatis. The little turnaround jumper from the left block. No good on the rebound by Powell. Back down comes Permian. And that one is going to be blocked up.
Clean block.
And into the hands of one of the Panthers. A mad scramble for it, a fight for it. And Vega gets clocked in the face for his trouble. They're going to call that one on Moses. That'll be his second personal, and it'll be the first team foul in the half. Hobbs basketball. Nobody has scored yet in the second half. We've got a minute gone here in the third. Something tells me business is going to pick up here in this half with the physicality. Permian, a very experienced team, don't have the size. They're going to try and intimidate Hobbs' youngsters as they'll come through. And Pena, he'll drive through and just misfires, and Beck will wind up with the basketball. It'll be Mojo's turn back down the court.
Beautiful try, though. Love the moves.
As cycling through, giving it to Powell. He'll pull up from the free throw line. The little jumper from there is good. Powell with 8 points in the ball game. And Permian will strike first here in the second half.
Gotta finish. The moves can be pretty, but you gotta finish to get the points.
Yes, you do. So it'll be Clay to control it near center court as he works against McCowan. Clay picks up the dribble, gives it to Vega on the near side. Back out to Pena, and Hobbs will reset the offense. Pena, the little head fake, loses it off of his foot. It is loose on the floor, and it'll wind up in Powell's hands. And somehow Permian will save it. Give it back to Powell. The little give and go as flying down the court as McCowan. He's got 4 points in the ball game. And quick timeout taken by Coach Ronald Ross and Coach Shelby Reeves. And so 6:02 remaining here in the third. It's a 1-minute timeout. Permian 41, Hobbs 34. We're back in 60 seconds on Cool 95.7. Out of the Eagle timeout, it'll be Hobbs basketball as Permian has stretched out their lead here at the start of the second half. 6 minutes to go here in the third as the full court pressure is on as Braddock Beatty will take the inbound, and he works against Ben Saldivar. Takes it across the timeline and will hand it off football style to Pena. Pena to Henderson as Henderson, top of the arc, hands it to Clay. Clay looking for somewhere to go, brings it to the left side. Pop a shot from 15,
nice.
And up and in for Josiah.
Great, and Henderson was right there in case that didn't go in for the offensive rebound.
And that is the first bucket of the game for Clay. 41-36, 3 ball on the way, and that one is off the mark, and Henderson goes up big and gets his 4th board of the ball game. Hail Mary pass down to Beatty, and count the bucket and the foul.
Beautiful.
The fast break
Wow.
off the rebound, and whistle the foul on Saldivar.
Nice.
And Beatty will head to the line for 3 the old-fashioned way.
Hobbs providing some fireworks here in this 3rd quarter and getting it to within 3. Now they were trailing by 7, and now it's 41-38. 5:19 left to play in the 3rd. Beatty at the line.
So Beatty goes to the line, toes the stripe for the and 1.
2nd trip to the line here tonight.
Up, and that one falls off the mark, and the rebound will be brought down by Anderson. So back down come the Panthers. 41-38 is the score. Sorry, I hit a wrong button on the score bug there. So it'll be McCowan to Anderson. Anderson with Clay coming out to guard on him. Now they'll get it into the deep right corner, then cycle it back around. With Anderson, takes it to the free throw line, backs it out, almost loses the handle on it. He'll get it to Powell. Powell inside the free throw line, and he's going to be fouled trying to split through 3 different Eagles.
Yeah, could be any one of them out there, the bump foul, because they all got him.
And so they're going to call that one on Josiah Clay. That'll be his 3rd personal. 1st team foul on the Eagles in the half. And it was on the floor, so it'll be Anderson to inbound it from right of his own bucket.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I think there's some questions about a couple of fouls are on here.
Right.
Because we actually had the refs ask us. We'll talk about that in a minute. Chavez off the inbound, puts that one short, but Anderson is there with the rebound, and the trees get to him, but he will mush it out. And now they'll try and get it in, and it will be an air ball. Nobody home on the backside, and it'll go out, and it'll be Hobbs basketball on the 7th Permian turnover of the ball game.
A chance for them to go down the court and get this tied up.
Yes, it is, or at least get it closer. Clay bouncing it to Henderson, and the team straight turnovers. That is 15 turnovers now for Hobbs.
Just can't do that.
Yeah, you cannot. Hobbs is going with the bigger lineup with Henderson and David. Playing basically dual center. Has Powell to the front court with Beatty on him. Picks up the dribble, throws it around. And we'll move it to Saldivar. Now trying to get it into the deep left corner. They will, and they'll cycle it back around to Anderson. As David comes out to guard him. 4 minutes, 10 seconds to go in the 3rd. Anderson starts his drive in, puts up the circus shot. Ball batted around, still loose on the floor, and it'll be Hobbs basketball as Pena will come away with it and brings it back down, almost loses it, somehow keeps it, and Pena puts it up and in. How did he do it? I don't know, but he's got 11 points in the ballgame now, and Hobbs back to within 1.
And they, just trade baskets just like that. That was Anderson putting it right back in.
So Mr. Anderson takes it up. He's got 13 in the ball game. Thank you, Don. I was looking down to write something down.
I was moving the camera here.
So it'll be to Beatty in the left wing for 3, and that one will go over the backboard and into the hands of the Permian Panthers. 43-40, Permian in the lead, 3:28 to go. The Hobbs Eagles trailing by 3, but keeping it close. Jinx.
Yeah. Oh, your beer. Or wait a minute. It's a Coke.
I don't think
Sorry.
you can't say that on family programming.
Okay.
Anderson bounces over. We'll toss it into the deep left corner, and they'll work it underneath, and we'll have a foul called. Besides, we're on the road. There is no alcohol involved.
Oh, no.
And the foul going to be called on Abraham Pena. That'll be his 1st personal. 2nd team foul on Hobbs. It is on the floor. And so it'll be Anderson to inbound from right of his own bucket. Anderson flips it into Powell. Beatty picks him up quickly. He'll take it to the left block, puts up a shot partially blocked out by Henderson. And Beatty tries to save it off of Powell, but they're going to say he was out and touched the floor before he could. Stays Permian basketball. Welcome to 2024 as 18-footer, and that one is going to be in for Saldivar. So back up to a 5-point lead for the Panthers, and they put the pressure on and get the 16th turnover of the ball game. Back the other way, Saldivar, the fall away from 12. Wow, where'd that kid come from all of a sudden? He's got 8 in the ball game. 47-40, and another turnover for the Eagles. And on the fast break, not able to handle it is McCowan and out of bounds.
Yeah, that ball intended for Henderson. It was going to be just a little alley-oop, right into the basket. And Permian said no, took that right away, but then could not execute on their end.
As David and Pena check out, Hernandez and Casadas come in for the Eagles. Beatty will push it in. Hernandez has to sky for it right at the center stripe. He'll get it. Javen working against the Panthers. Now he'll hand it off to Beatty. Beatty works against McCowan and will back it up and try and set the offense. Hobbs trails by 7. 2:22 remaining in the third quarter. To Hernandez, who works against Anderson. Needing some help. Beatty going to come back and pick the ball back up from him. Little crossover move. Permian stays right with him, and we will have the bump foul as they're going to call that one on McCowan, his first personal. Third team foul on Mojo. Hobbs would like to steal a little of that mojo here with 2:09 to go in the third. So the push in right at the timeline to Beatty with McCowan on him. He'll come near side, hand it off to Vega. Vega, hippity hop goes, and he's fouled. And they're going to call that one on McCowan. He's picked up 2 quick personal fouls. That'll be the 4th team foul on Permian. So Hobbs will go into the bonus on the next one. Keep attacking. I like this.
It is. It's nice. Would have been nice to have that
Vega
bucket.
to Casadas. Deep left corner off the inbound. Casadas almost loses it. Nope, they're going to say he traveled under pressure from Powell. Turnover 17. Make that 18 for Hobbs.
Minute 58 left in this third quarter. 47-40 is your score. Permian up on Hobbs. But the Eagles need to go ahead and shave that lead down a little bit right here.
If they can.
Yeah, can't let Permian stretch that out any further.
Go into the front court. It'll be Panther basketball. That'll be Anderson who controls. Takes it to the top of the arc. A little head fake. Pushes it down to Powell. 10-footer from the left base is up and good. Powell now with 10 points in the ballgame, and it is a 9-point lead for Permian, their biggest of the contest. To Beatty, and he'll take it up and in and out, gets his own rebound. The putback won't fall, and Beatty winds up with another rebound, and finally,
Third
Braddock
time's
gets
charm.
it to go.
Right.
So he picks up a couple of quick rebounds
And
right there, and then
stole
steals it on the inbound and puts it back up and in.
So got a couple of points back on one of those misses.
49-44, and a long 2-pointer from the left wing, and skying for it is Jordan Casadas.
Nice.
Jordan's the shortest kid on the court.
Yeah, nice board there.
He went up into the rafters for that one. Push it in to the right block. To Henderson, back to Beatty, a nice little spin move, and he'll underhand scoop it up and in. What's gotten into Braddock? Beatty, he scored 8 consecutive points for the Eagles, and Hobbs has got it down to just a 3-point game, and Coach Flores says, what is going on out there? He'll take the timeout.
It's a long one.
And it will be a 60, so with less than a minute to go in the third, Permian 49, Hobbs 46. Eagle basketball continues in a minute on Cool 95.7. Out of the Permian timeout, Braddock Beatty has all of a sudden erupted for 8 consecutive points and gotten the Hobbs Eagles back to within 3.
Within the space of about 30 or 45 seconds.
With Dawn Morgan, I'm TJ Miracle. It'll be Permian basketball out of the Panther timeout. And the inbound will come in to Anderson as Hernandez, Beatty, Pena, Henderson, and Vega on the floor for the Cats. And an offensive foul going to be called as they're going to call the charge. They're going to whistle that one on Moses, his third personal. That is the 5th team foul, so Hobbs will be in the bonus for the last 40 seconds of this quarter with the new rules. 5 personal or 5 team fouls equals bonus shots now. Then it resets every quarter. So Hobbs trails by 3. Pena to the front court, puts his back against Powell, picks up the dribble, needs some help. And he's got it there from Henderson, who gives it right back to Pena. He'll drive in, hippity hop through the lane, tries to get it to Vega. Somehow he will find his way through to Pena. Gets it back from the left corner for 3. That one off the mark and off of the tip. It'll be Anderson with the rebound. And a whistle sounds as we're going to have a foul called back the other way.
Let's see, is it on 22?
I didn't see.
I think he motioned. I think it was on Pena, but I
don't know if they're going to say Hobbs bounced the ball away.
Oh, okay.
So
all
knocked
right,
it away from him.
All right, then.
So it's still Permian basketball. And they'll toss it into the backcourt from Saldivar to McCowan. So McCowan will bring it across the timeline. As Beatty comes out on him with 6, with 5, with 4. As Powell gets the screen, and he'll take it to the left rack and put it up and in at the buzzer. Laryl Powell now with 12 points in the ball game, and we head to the 4th. It's Permian 51, Hobbs 46. We're back for the 4th in 1 minute on Cool 95.7. Back here in Odessa, start of the 4th quarter as the Hobbs Eagles trail the Permian Panthers 51-46. With Dawn Morgan, I'm TJ Miracle, Tiff Stuber in studio, engineering and producing tonight. Thanks for being with us wherever you are around southeast New Mexico and West Texas on Cool 95.7. And, of course, around the world on the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel. So Hobbs trails by 5. Got it back to within 3 there towards the end as it'll be Vega who takes it through, and he goes hard to the floor. And are they going to call? Nope, they're just going to say out of bounds. And so another turnover for the Eagles. That is turnover number 19 for Hobbs. They've got to find a way to take care of the basketball. Powell to the front court, loses it, but somehow gets it back between Pena and Vega. Out to Anderson in front of the Permian bench. He'll back it up as Vega picks him up. 30 seconds gone here in the 4th. Anderson to the free throw line, and they're going to call a whistle away, and a foul going to be called. They're going to call the push foul on McCowan. That'll be his 3rd personal. First team foul in the quarter, and that will be turnover number 12 for Permian. So Hobbs basketball looking to draw first blood here in this 4th quarter. Now is the time where they need to pick it up in a big way. So Pena to the front court. Powell giving him a little bit of space. Vega comes over and will set a pick, and he gets a little pass, and he'll turn around from 7 in the right block. No good, but there with the rebound and the putback. Genius Tudoviatas, he's got 4 points in the ball game.
Yeah, nice.
And Hobbs will draw first blood. Back down come the Panthers, 51-48. Hobbs back to within 3.
Great offensive rebound there.
Into the deep right corner. And it'll be Powell who winds up with it on the wing. Takes it to the top of the arc, and he'll give it off to Saldivar. Saldivar starts the run in, and they are going to call the block foul on Hobbs.
He's got a little foot and knee in front of him.
As they are going to call that on Josiah Clay. If I'm not mistaken, that's Clay's fourth personal.
Yeah, I think so.
It is on the floor, though, but Josiah out there with 4 fouls and 6:50 remaining in the ball game. Beck takes the inbound in the backcourt. He'll bring it across the timeline, pushing it into the deep right corner to McCown. Vega gets to him quickly, and he'll back it back out, and Permian will reset their offense. 6.5 minutes remaining. Look at three, and that one is going to be off the mark by Beck. And there with the rebound and the putback is Moses, his first board of the ball game. He's got 9, and that's Permian's first points. And back down comes the Eagles, and the shot up by Beatty, no good. Rebound, and then the fast break back the other way by Saldivar is up and in. He's got 10 points in the ball game. And just like that, Permian has taken advantage and has gone back up, and a whistle sounds. And timeout going to be taken by Coach Shelby Reeves and Coach Ronald Ross. 6:12 remaining here in the ball game. Permian 55, Hobbs 48. We're back in 60 on Cool 95.7. Back here at the Permian Fieldhouse in Odessa, the Hobbs Eagles take a timeout as Permian has gone on a little run with 6:12 remaining in regulation to take the 55-48 lead. With Dawn Morgan, I'm TJ Miracle, Tiff Stuber in studio engineering and producing. Out of the Eagle timeout, it'll be Hobbs basketball as Pena will take the inbound. Pena working against Powell, then gets the pick. Abraham pulls up from the right block, 15-footer, no good, and it'll be Powell with his 4th rebound of the ball game. Powell brings it up the near sideline. And a big collision, and going down hard is Beatty. Tough gets back up, and Powell winds up with the basketball. He'll throw it to the right base, and then the reverse layup by Beck is up and good. He's got 5. Now is the danger zone, 9 points down, and a 17-footer from the left base, and rattle it home for Jarius Tudoviatis.
Nice.
He's got 6 in the ball game, and now Hobbs back to within 7. 5.5 remaining. As Powell, little spin move, and he'll put the floater up and in. Powell now with 14 points in the ball game. And the backcourt pressure is on for Permian. 59-50. Hobbs has got to find an offensive run and find it quickly. Henderson comes out to set the screen for Pena as Pena will just take it high in as there with Henderson and the rebound, but he is going to be clocked. 5th rebound for Henderson. He should be heading to the line for 2. And they're going to call that one on Powell, his 3rd personal, 2nd team foul on Permian.
And Henderson's been to the line, once or twice?
Once tonight.
Once, and he was, I think he's
don't say it.
Okay.
Don't say it.
All right. No curse. No curse.
And the shot is up, and it is good.
All right.
After the next shot, we will get that statistic.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. Yes, I am a bit superstitious. 7 points in the ball game for Henderson, trying to make it 8, and the shot is up, and that one is no good. And the rebound brought down by Anderson. He's now 3 of 4 from the charity stripe.
Right.
To Powell, and he's got a wide open look at 3, and he'll rattle that one home. He made a nice little fake, and nothing Hobbs could do about it. Now it's 62-51, an 11-point lead for the Panthers, their biggest of the ball game. Pena to the front court, trying to get it over to Vega, and another turnover, 20 in the ball game. And the fast break by Saldivar misses the point blanker, and it'll be Beck on the long rebound out in front of the basket.
Right,
Hobbs was there, but just couldn't get it.
Tudoviatis was right there. They were fighting for it. Just
4.5 to go. NBA 3 on the way for Anderson. That one no good, and it'll be Henderson with his 6th board of the ball game. Push it forward to Pena. Pena, 17-footer from the right wing, and good.
Lovely.
So he's got 13 points in the ball game and gets it back to a single-digit Permian lead as we click down to the halfway mark of the 4th quarter. 62-53 in favor of the Panthers. Anderson through the lane, and he's going to get hammered by,
Well,
could be Henderson, could be Tudoviatis.
Either one. I think they're going to call Henderson.
Yep, they're going to get Henderson. Parker's second personal. Second team foul on Hobbs. It is on the floor. So now Josiah Clay will come back into the ball game. He'll go in for Tudoviatis. Clay playing with 4 fouls and 4 minutes to go here in the ball game. As Anderson to inbound it from right of his own bucket, he'll get it into Beck. Beck top of the arc to Saldivar for 3. That one off the mark, and it'll be Henderson with his 7th board of the ball game. Gives it to Clay, who gives it to Pena. Abraham will push it into the front court on the near side. To Vega in the corner, to Vega on the cut, and up and in for Pena.
When the Eagles, play like that, they make it look easy. You just want to see more of that.
Good ball movement, good control. As Anderson drives in, and he's going to be fouled by Henderson, and he'll go to the line for 2, his 3rd personal.
And you could just tell, he set that up. He set Henderson up for that. He did.
So that'll be the 3rd personal on Henderson, 3rd team foul on Hobbs, and Anderson at the line to shoot 2. He is 2 for 2 from the line. He's got 13 points for the Panthers.
7-point game, 3:34 left to play.
And that is the first missed free throw of the night for Permian. They are 9 of 10 from the free throw line.
Wow, bricked it.
As checking in will be Chavez, as he will go in for Beck. Second shot on the way for Anderson, and that one is good. He's got 14 points in the ball game. Hobbs still with a pulse, though, with 3.5 minutes remaining. Down by 8. To the front court with Pena, to Beatty. Anderson giving him a little room. Now to Vega. Push it around. Pena thinks about the 3 ball. Now he'll give it to Beatty. NBA 3. And that one is going to be well off the mark. And since it didn't touch anything, that counts as a turnover. And so back to Permian. 21 turnovers in the ball game, as opposed to now just 12 for Permian. They only had 5 in the first half.
And Odessa is just going to slow things down a little bit. The clock is there for
to Powell, top of the arc, his 3 ball, and that one is going to be off the mark. And Anderson will outfight everybody for it. His 5th rebound of the ball game. He'll feed it off to Moses. His shot won't go, and the rebound this time will be made by Henderson. Henderson to Pena, to Beatty, as Beatty will push it up and in, and they call the charge on Braddock. Are you kidding me? First personal, 4th team foul, turnover number 22. And the Hobbs Eagles are not happy.
No.
Coach Ronald Ross is not happy.
No.
Coach Shelby Reeves just shakes his head.
And 2:41 left to play in this game.
Wow.
63-57 to score.
Looked like his feet were shuffling to me, as they'll get it. Top of the arc, and a 3 ball is up, and it is good by Ben Saldivar. He's got 13 in the ball game, and that
just insult to injury.
That may be what puts this one out of reach for the Eagles. They're down by 11 again, 66-55. Got to move the ball, move the ball. Somebody will be open. They're putting 2 guys on Henderson. Pena, as Moses switches out on him to Beatty, drives left base. He'll put up the 10-foot floater. That one's no good, and it'll be Anderson who comes away with his 6th rebound of the ball game. Under 2 minutes to play now. 66-55. The Eagles have been in this the whole way, but Permian is pulled away here late. And from the left block and up and in, Ben Saldivar. Where has that kid come from all of a sudden? And timeout taken by Coach Ronald Ross. It will be a full timeout. So we'll take it with them with 1:43 remaining in the ballgame. Permian 68, Hobbs 55. Back in 60 seconds here on Cool 95.7. And welcome back to Hobbs Eagle Basketball here on Cool 95.7 and the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel. Out of the Eagle timeout, they trail by 13 with 1:43 remaining in regulation. You may be looking at this if you're just joining us and going, whoa, this hadn't been much of a game. Yeah, it actually has been. Permian's just pulled it out late. Too many Hobbs Eagle turnovers in the ball game as they're looking at 22 right now as Josiah Clay works against Powell. Pushing over, that'll be Vega on the near sideline in front of us. Almost losing it is Pena. He'll get a pick from Turbiatis. Now he'll pull the three-point trigger and bang!
Oh,
Where's that been? Abraham Pena buries the three ball. Gets Hobbs back to within 10. 1:13 remaining in the ball game. Permian is next foul will be in the bonus. 1 minute to go. Saldivar thinks about it. He'll weave through and wow, that kid has just torn us up. He's having a whale of a quarter. That's 9 points in the quarter. He's got 17 to lead the way for the Panthers. 70-58. Hobbs not waving the white flag just yet. As through traffic was Vega, and the underhand scoop is up and in. Braylon Vega with 11 for Hobbs. 70-60. Now Saldivar will push it over, and Vega with a pretty good shot at it. Just mistimed it a little bit. Now Permian's going to just play it, and Pena goes over and hugs Powell.
So they're finally going to call the
That'll be the second personal on Pena. That'll be the fifth team foul on Hobbs. And they call the hack. I don't know. It was more of a hug than a hack, I think. But
right.
that'll put Powell at the line. Oh, they're going to call, well, they're going to call a flagrant.
A flagrant just because he, yeah.
Yep. They're going to call the flagrant.
All right.
So Powell at the line. We'll put that one up, and it is good. 71-60. Second on the way for Powell, and that one clanks. So it'll stay 71-60 on the flagrant foul. It will stay Permian basketball. With 28 seconds to go, the Eagles are going to fall to 4-6, and immediately on the inbound, Seamus Wright, who played a whale of a JV ball game, will pick up the foul. So checking in, seeing a little time up on the big squad, and heading to the line will be Isaiah McCowan, his first trip to the line tonight, with 26 seconds to go. He'll bend the knees, eye it, sky it, and it is good. 72-60. Coach Ronald Ross telling his guys, head back, and we've got a foul called in the blocks.
Really?
And they are going to call the technical foul on Seamus Wright. So he's quickly picked up his second, and so a flagrant and a tech.
Right here at the end of the game.
Yeah. So something got said, and Wright going to check out. And so Wright will check out, and Henderson will check back in. And so it'll be McCowan. He'll finish his bonus free throw, and then they'll be shooting techs.
26.71 seconds left on the clock.
Second one is up, and it is good. As Coach Flores, I think, asking for a couple of Eagles to be ousted. Oh, they teed up. I think they may have teed up They teed up somebody. I don't know why Wright checked out, but it'll be Pena for an NBA three, and tracking down the long rebound will be Saldivar. Just know he signaled the tee and put up 3-2, and they don't have a 32, so
No.
and they don't have a 20 or 23 on the floor either. So just dribble it out is what they'll do, and it is a 73-60 ball game in favor of the Permian Panthers. So Permian will improve to 14-7. Hobbs will drop to 4-7 on the year. And we will be back to wrap this one up. Hobbs Eagle basketball continues in a moment on Cool 95.7. Welcome back to Hobbs Eagle basketball here on Cool 95.7. Your postgame report as the Eagles fall to Permian 73-60 in the first game of 2024. Let's take a quick look at the final numbers in this one. For the Permian Panthers, 3 of the black and white getting into double figures tonight as Laren Powell leads the way with 18 points. Then you had 17 points for Ben Saldivar, 9 of those coming in that decisive fourth quarter. 14 points for Gemma Brion Anderson. And then just missing out on the double digits was Rael Moses. 5 points for Beck, 6 points for McCowan, 4 points for Chavez. Odessa goes Permian. If you call them Odessa, they tend to hurt you around here. It's Odessa Permian. They go 13 of 15 from the free throw line tonight. Their leading rebounder was Anderson with 6. They did have 23 rebounds as a team. Turned the ball over 12 times in the game. Got 16 in the first, 21 in the second, 14 in the third, and 22 in that fourth and final quarter. For the Hobbs Eagles, leading scorer tonight was Abraham Pena. He finishes up the night as the leading Eagle with 18 points, so tied for the lead in scoring for both teams. So 18 points for Pena tonight, couple over his season average. Braylon Vega with 11 tonight, so right at his season average. Those were the only Eagles in double figures. Braddock Beatty with 9 points, 8 of them coming in about 30 seconds in that third quarter. That was quite a show for Beatty. Parker Henderson with 7 points, 6 points for Jarius Tudobiatis, 4 points. Malachi David, 3 points for Jordan Casadas, and 2 points for Josiah Clay. Henderson led the way for Hobbs in rebounding tonight. He had 8, 23 rebounds as a team for the Eagles. They go 6 of 11 from the free throw line, so just slightly over 50%. Here's the big story, though. 22 turnovers in the game. Hard to win a game when you turn the ball over 10 times more than your opponent. And no matter what, though, this was a very close game until right at the end. It was 2-3 points seemingly until right there at the very end.
Hobbs kept it very close, until the very end of the game. So it was never out of their range and the grasp, but they just turned the ball too much over, too much. So there's no way that you can get back, from 3 points down, 5 points down, 7 points down, and do that when you're constantly giving the ball back to your opponent.
Too many chances the other way.
And Odessa Permian was making Hobbs pay for that, especially in that fourth quarter, the last half of that fourth quarter, just turning those turnovers into points.
Yeah, they certainly did. So next up for the Eagles, they've got some things to work on, but they are off for a week. Next Tuesday night, they will be at the Albuquerque Metro Tournament at Highland. Ty and Ron will be back with you for that. You'll be up there, too, with the Hobbs Lady Eagles on our sister station, Eagle 100.5. Of course, our next Hobbs streamcast on the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel, and on our sister station, Eagle 100.5, will be the 2-game swing into Las Cruces for the girls, Friday night at 7, then Saturday afternoon at 3:30. So we would invite you to tune in for that as the Hobbs Lady Eagles get ready for their final tune-up before the Metro Tournament on Friday and Saturday. So the boys keep it close, but in the end, Permian stretches it out and comes up victorious 73-60. For Tiff Stuber in studio engineering and producing, for Ty Friend and Ron Gunter, for Don Morgan, I'm TJ Miracle saying so long from Odessa Permian. This has been an exclusive presentation of Walmart Digital and One Radio Square and Cool 95.7 Sports. Good night, everybody.